Hi guys, welcome back to our online art lessons for term 4. I hope everyone's had a lovely break. We're straight back into week 1, then not too long and we'll be back in our school, back in our beautiful art room. Can't wait. Until then, we still have a couple of art lessons to do online. So today we will be looking at 2-point perspective. So some of us have looked at perspective artworks to create the illusion that the artwork is going into the distance. Today we'll be looking at a 2-point perspective, and I'll go through that in just a moment. First of all, I'd like to mention the other links that I put in this week's activity. So over the holidays, I learnt a new skill. I learnt how to crochet, which is a form of knitting using one hooked needle. And I followed a few videos, I took my time, and I was able to create these 2 cool characters. So if crocheting is something that you think you might be interested in, not necessarily this week or next week, it could be over the weekend, it could be over the summer holidays, it could be, I don't know, like another time. You might like to get your hands on a crochet needle. So I just got that from Kmart, like a few dollars. Or you can get one from Big W, or Target, or maybe your parents have one, or grandparents, or aunties, or uncles, someone has one lying around. You'll need some wool, and you'll need some other materials depending on what you would like to create. So I needed some stuffing and some beads for the eyes for these things. But I put a few links that I found very helpful, very easy to follow in the activity for this week. So the first one is just an introduction how to make a square. It shows you the skills on how to crochet, how crocheting works. I found her video very easy to follow, very clear. It is a bit tricky to start with, so if you don't get it straight away, do not worry. It took me quite a few goes to get used to it, but then in no time I managed to create these 2 cool characters. So if I can do it, you can do it. And I put the link to the lady, I think her name is Odinka. I just checked, yes, her name is Odinka, and she has a YouTube channel where she has probably, it looks like hundreds of different characters that you can create. Some of them are very tricky and have multiple videos. I would say if you follow one of her videos, pick a more simple one that just has one video to follow, because even though the video goes for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, it took me about a week. So you've got to keep pausing and rewinding. But I found her videos quite easy to follow once you get used to it, once you know that SC means a single stitch, and how to do an increased stitch and a decreased stitch. So you can always look up YouTube videos on how to do those. You can learn absolutely anything on YouTube. And remember, if I could do this, you can do it. So if that's something you're interested in, food for thought. Now, on to this week's task. So this week you will be needing some paper to draw on, you will need a ruler, you will need a grey lead, and you will need a eraser. So these are really important. An eraser is really important because we are going to be rubbing out a lot of our lines. Please do not use a pen or a texter because we need to rub out most of our lines today. Okay, we're going to be drawing lots of guidelines that show us where to draw, but then we don't actually need them in the finishing. Okay, so I'm even going to be drawing with a grey lead today, so I'll have to draw very hard so you can see it in the video. So it's going to be a little bit tricky for me today because I'm going to be drawing on the angle from this direction. You'll be drawing straight on, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so today what we're going to be doing is creating a 2-point perspective building. Okay, buildings have nice straight edges, so it's the easiest subject matter for us to better understand 2-point perspective. So the first thing we need to do is rule a light line. So remember, when I say light, we're going to rub it out. I'm going to draw mine a bit harder just so you can see it. Right across the middle of our page. See that? Yes, you can see that. Fantastic. Now we need to draw our 2 points. So one point is going to go over here. Just draw a little dot. I'm drawing a big dot so you can see it. And another little dot here. Alright, those are our 2 points of perspective. Okay, 2-point perspective. Fantastic. Now what we need to do is draw a vertical line through the middle. Remember, I'm drawing hard just so you can see it. Again, this line is going to be rubbed out. Okay? Doesn't need to go straight to the edges of the page. I probably took mine a little bit too far there. I might rub out. Alrighty. Now this line here shows us the closest point to you, the viewer. So imagine you're taking a picture of a building and you're the one holding the camera. This is the edge of the building that's closest to you. So we're going to put 2 dots. It's going to show the top of my building, the bottom of my building. Okay, top of the building, bottom of it. We're going to draw a line from actually I might move this point of perspective over a bit further. There we go. From the top of our building to our point of perspective. Remember, these lines are all going to be rubbed out. So at the moment we're just drawing guidelines. And we're going to do the same over here. Top of the building to the point of perspective. And we're going to do the same point of perspective to the bottom of the building, or bottom of the building to the point of perspective. It's going to start looking a bit like a kite. Point of perspective to the bottom of it. Alrighty. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw the sides, the other sides of our house, so the edges of our house. So the front of my house, I think, is, I'm going to do that there. So this shape here is one wall of our house. This one I might go a bit further away. This point here, this shape here, is another wall of our house, okay, or our building. All right, now we need to decide where our door's going to go. So I want you to only put lines along this, dots along this middle line, because we're still in the process of drawing guidelines, okay? So our door going to be a little bit more than halfway up the wall. So it's going to go up a bit further than halfway. So I'm going to put a dot here. I'm going to draw a line from that dot, the point of perspective, and the same on the other side. So the point of perspective. Okay? Now, if I'm to draw my door on this wall here, it's going to be the front of the door. I'll do it without the ruler so you can see it. My door would go up to this line. This line would show the top of the door. Then my line goes down again. Remember, I'm drawing this on a bit of an angle. Alrighty? Like I can rub out that middle line to show you that's my door. There's my point. I'm going to draw a line from my point of perspective to where I want the top of the window to be. I might want the bottom of the window to be level with that dot. I draw a line from the point of perspective. Not just the edge of the house, it has to go to the point of perspective. Alrighty, that's where my window is going to go to. So let's, oops, no, it wasn't going to go from there, silly. It's going to go from here down. That's the side of my window. This line here, remember, shows the slope of the bottom of the window. And it goes up to that line again. That shows the top. Remember, as windows go into the distance, they get a bit smaller. There's 2 windows. Fantastic. Alrighty. Now, in order to give our house a roof, maybe you can see I've already tried just before, but it didn't really work out, so I failed. I'm going to put a dot up here in line with the middle of my door, slightly off to the side of the door because my door's not in the middle, is it? I'm going to put a dot up here, and then it has to be a straight line. Line up your ruler, straight line from the middle of the building up to that dot. And what I'm going to do, make my dot a little bit bigger so you can see it. I'm going to draw a line that goes from that dot to the corner of the front of the house, past a little bit. So can you see that? There's the corner of my house. If I were to show you what the front of my house looks like in a marker, this line will not be rubbed out. This line will not be rubbed out. This line will not be rubbed out. These lines will not be rubbed out. Oops. Very good at doing this on the side. This line will not be rubbed out. And this line will not be rubbed out. So, these guidelines show me the angles, the directions that my lines need to go in. So now let's do the other slope of the roof. From that point, and remember the roof goes past the edge of the house a little bit, doesn't it? Have a look at any roof, it always goes past a little bit. Alright, now from this point at the top of the roof, we need to draw a line that goes not to the edge of the house, it needs to go to that point of perspective. Remember, it always needs to go towards the point of perspective. Okay? Fantastic. And then, if we extend this line up a little bit, we can create a bit of a slope to mirror this slope here. So that's the slope of the roof, the slope of the roof. I will neaten up this area for you. See that? Lovely. Now, this is the edge of the house, but the edge of the roof comes down past it. So really, the edge of the roof is going to cover the corner of the house. So, let's connect those 2 lines that show the edge of the roof. And then what we can do is erase that line that shows the edge of the house. Lovely. So now we can see this line is permanent. Difficult on an angle. This line is permanent. Line is permanent. And this line is permanent. So is this line. And we'll add in a little. Okay. Fantastic. This is also permanent line. That's the bottom of the house, back side of the house, top of window, bottom of window, sides of window, top of window, bottom of window, sides of window. Fantastic. So you can see by me outlining that in a darker marker, you can see we've got all these lines that show us how this building mathematically recedes into the background, into the 2 points of perspective. Now I did make a mistake. I was not meant to go over this line with a marker, so silly Miss Grace, I shouldn't have done that. So we're going to leave it at that, but I'd like you to add some more detail. So you might like to add some window panes to the windows and some things to the background, okay? So watch what I add to mine and you can choose whether you would like to do the same, and then we need to fill it with some colour. So you can see I've just added some simple details to my artwork, so you can go even further, add even more details, make it look more realistic. You can add brickwork to your house, you can add something up here, look at some images of houses, try and replicate it. But the important thing is that we got those lines of perspective right. So it doesn't matter what details you add into the background now, it'll still have the same effect because we've looked at those lines of perspective. Alright, fantastic. You can add some colour if you like as well. I hope everyone had fun drawing today, and if you did want to crochet, when we're back at school you can always ask me about it and I'll show you the things that I've done and some tricks that I've learnt. Alright, hope everyone's had fun this week. Bye.